Half the power of functions in PHP is the fact that we can gather them up into files and include them in any script we like, rather than having to copy the same functions into each script. The include once file name with relative path simply inserts whatever was in this file name into our script. For example, include once, up one level, folder name includes, and then a file name, functions format.php, includes the file functions format.php wherever we use this piece of code. Include, without the once, is exactly the same, except you need to manually check if the file has actually already been included. So there's little point in using include by itself, and far safer to use include_once. The keywords require and require once are actually identical, except they throw fatal errors if the included file does not exist. So once again, there's little point in using require unless you're in debug mode and you want to throw up fatal errors. If the included file is actually PHP code, it actually has to contain the PHP tags around the code. And when you include files, you need to be aware of where the variables came from, in other words, the scope of the variables, which we'll talk briefly about later. For now, we need to have a repository for our include files. So in the htdocs directory, create a new directory and rename it includes. And now in a new code pane, paste the snippet includes string functions and save the file stringfunctions.php, not in the forms directory, but in the includes directory. You can see that this is a PHP file that starts and ends with PHP tags. It's got a little bit of an explanation about what it is, its name, that it's a set of string functions for the project Alpha CRM. It contains our function full co-name and short co-name and co-address. Now in our file, from the forms directory, company list order, which is referenced from our project homepage, just under the connection trap, paste the snippet string functions usage, which simply pastes include once from the includes folder the file string functions PHP, which we just created. Now, because you can't declare functions more than once in PHP, or it throws an error, you need to take care about how you organize your functions in include files to ensure that they're not included more than once in any script. So we've got to get rid of the actual functions at the end of this script because we've actually declared them here. Down at the bottom of this script, you recall that we pasted in these functions. We've now got to delete those, otherwise they'd be called twice, and save the file. Now going to your browser and finding the project homepage, click on List Companies again, and this time we've accessed company list order, but it's using the include file with the functions instead of functions hard-coded into the script. As a final example of include, recall that the files company edit and company people edit both used a company drop-down to go to the company we wanted. The script for that company drop-down only requires the name of the file to which the company ID must be sent. In the case of companyedit.php, it's company edit form, and company edit, the drop-down script, remember, was a form which posted the value of the company ID to company edit form. In the case of company people edit, the drop-down script was again a form which posted the value of company ID to this script name, which of course was itself. So if we create an include file called, say, codedropdown by pasting codedropdown.php into a code pane, and this piece of code does the same thing as the dropdown. It selects the company values. It posts the company ID to a post form name, which is a variable that needs to be declared in the script. If we save this in our includes folder, we now have another include file that's not a function, but it's a piece of code that we're going to use frequently whenever we need a company dropdown. So in the script company people edit, we set the variable post form name equal to this script name. We'll do that where we set this script name right at the top. So post form name will be set to the same value as this script name, and then in place of our form, delete all that, we'll insert the code to include code dropdown. So include once from the folder includes codedropdown.php, which is the one we just created, and save that, being sure, of course, to make sure that the variable post form name is set to the correct variable that we want the dropdown to send the text to. Similarly, in company edit, we'll get rid of the dropdown form and simply insert the dropdown from the include file. But of course, we have to set the post form name variable in company edit not to this script name, but to the script company edit form, remembering the semicolon at the end. And let's save this and try out these two revised forms. Company edit is now drawing its drop-down form not from the code that's in company edit, but from the include file code dropdown. So in company edit, we don't have any code for the dropdown other than the include file. Similarly, in list people in a new company, the company people edit script is taking its dropdown from the code dropdown include file. So this process of standardization of code segments becomes critical to manage many files in an application, but also underscores the importance of documentation so that you keep close track of what all your code components do.